There are 10 automakers that were once huge in America and have since been lost to history. 10. Suzuki. Suzuki had been fruitful for a considerable length of time in Europe and Asia. In any case, in spite of solid cruiser and ATV deals, its autos didn't land in America until 1985, when Chevy started offering the Cultus as the Sprint. Before the decade's over, Suzuki was offering the Swift, a close indistinguishable cousin of the George Metro, and the subcompact Samurai 4x4. It assembled various reduced autos and SUVs for the following 2 decades, yet had a rough 2000s. In spite of offering more than 100,000 autos in 2006 and discharging a really decent smaller car, the Kaizashi, the worldwide money-related emergency destined the brand in America. It vanished in 2014, and today, there's scarcely a hint of it cleared out.
9. Daewoo. South Korean automaker Daewoo softened into the American market up the late 80s with the conservative Pontiac LeMans. In 1998, it returned under its own particular name with a trio of Gagario-outlined little autos, the Linos, Leganzo, and Nubira. In any case, the brand rollout was a sprawling, disordered wreckage, and by 2002, the organization was purchased by GM as it sat buried in Chapter 11. It left one separating blessing to the world, the genuinely terrible Chevrolet Aveo.
8. Falcon. Trust it or not, there's a Nash association with Eagle. It was propelled by Chrysler to offer the evacuees from the AMC bargain. Hawk's first auto was the last year AMC Eagle, which was outfitted with the Weather Eye HVAC framework, no less, getting to be the Eagle. It additionally sold the Renault-based Medallion and the Premier, an AMC/Renault created premium vehicle intended to go up against any semblance of Acura and Audi. In any case, once those models blurred, Eagle to a great extent turned into a vault for identification-built autos from Mitsubishi and the Chrysler LH-based Eagle Vision. By 1999, Eagle had vanished for good.
7. Isuzu. In 1972, General Motors cooperated with Japanese automaker Isuzu to manufacture the Daewoo, a conservative pickup truck. By the 1980s, Isuzu turned into a solid pitching brand in its own particular right on account of the rough trooper SUV, minimal mark, and good-looking, Gagario-planned impulse sports auto, among others. The automaker even traversed into pop culture with its well-known Joe Isuzu advertisement crusade.
6. Sterling. The British automobile industry was in shambles in the 1980s, yet the notable Rover marque felt that it could complete 2 things to bring it once again from the edge, band together with a more fruitful brand, and split the American market. In 1986, it propelled the 800 series, an extravagance car in view of the Honda legend. At that point in 1987, it propelled in America as the Sterling 800, which shockingly propelled in the meantime as the Acura legend.
5. Daihatsu. For quite a long time, Daihatsu was one of Japan's biggest automakers. By the late 80s, with American interest for Japanese autos expanding quite a long time, the organization felt the time had come to hop in. It propelled in 1987 with the Charade, a subcompact hatchback, and caught up with the Rocky, a Suzuki Samurai battling subcompact 4x4 out of 1988. Be that as it may, moderately high costs, an absence of dealership system and parts accessibility, and a generally little market for its minimal models spelled the end for the brand. By 1992, it discreetly left the American market. In 2016, Daihatsu was purchased by and large by Toyota.
4. Mercer. On paper, Mercer truly could have worked. While Detroit was endeavoring to beat back the Germans from overwhelming the American extravagance showcase, spoiler, it didn't work. Ford felt that it could beat them unexpectedly by bringing in some of its own top-of-the-line European models. The XR4T, Ford Sierra XR4i in Europe, was a Mustang-sized BMW 3 Series Warrior presented in 1985, and the 5-entryweight Scorpio vehicle, nay Ford Scorpio, was a Mercedes E-Class contender that bowed in 1988. Yet, high costs, an absence of brand glory, and inward doubt from the Lincoln Mercury merchants who needed to offer them bound Mercer. In spite of handling 2 truly great autos, Ford chopped out the brand in 1989.
3. DeSoto. When upper-mid showcase autos were huge business, DeSoto filled in as Chrysler's Mercury, Oldsmobile rival. When it was propelled in 1929, it set a record as the top-rated first-year demonstrate ever, a record that unexpectedly remained until 1960, the brand's penultimate year. In the middle of, DeSoto offered intense, sumptuous autos that opened above Plymouth and Dodge, however underneath Chrysler and Imperial. Lamentably, Mark Bungle and a changing section bound the brand, and it was ended in a chaotic organization revamping in late 1960. Strangely, Chrysler kept on offering trucks badged as DeSotos in Europe, Australia, South America, and the Middle East until 1978.
2. Nash. Nash is minimal known outside authority circles today, yet from 1916 to 1957, it was a standout amongst the most imaginative automakers on the planet. In 1939, it presented the Climate Eye, a warming and ventilation framework that turned into the format for each advanced HVAC framework since. Weather Eye stayed underway into the 1980s. In 1941, it presented the 600, the main unit body show work on America. Today, for all intents and purposes, each auto utilizes a similar development techniques. In 1950, it presented the Rambler, the primary American manufactured auto sold as a minimal. It was additionally offered safety belts in its autos that year, another first. What's more, it propelled the Nash Healy in 1951, a Pininfarina-composed games auto that originated before the Corvette by 2 years.
1. LaSalle. It isn't a name that even most gearheads could review today, yet from 1927 to 1940, LaSalle was a standout amongst the most esteemed automakers in America. Opening above Buick and just beneath Cadillac, LaSalle's were in an energizing and fortunate position in the GM lineup. They were worked to an indistinguishable measures from Cadillacs, however they were for the most part somewhat littler and utilized as a proving ground for future GM styling patterns. In spite of beating Cadillac from 1933 to 1940, GM chose to end the brand.